Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policymakers, heads of major organizations and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by these guests will help our community. Continuing with CEO series, we have a CEO of HAKS Engineering, Husam Ahmed. Husam has a successful business, has started the business in 1991 from 2 people to now 650 people. Husam, welcome to the show, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much
Raj.
for taking time. Actually, you're a very busy man. I know that.
Oh, I don't know
Run a
about
big
that.
enterprise and, coming here on a short notice. So we thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Right.
Excited. If I can be of any help.
Well, we want to pick your brain, so be prepared. So open your mind. Open
Okay,
your mind. Don't
okay.
pick your mind. Open your mind.
Okay. Sure.
So first we are going to start with your background. Okay. So
Okay.
I know that you're from our continent. So tell us about you. Tell us about you in little bit detail.
Right. Well, I come from a very humble background. Born in a small village called Mohammedpur, which is in the district Ghazipur, which happens to be in UP, Uttar Pradesh.
Yep.
And I lived with my grandparents for 8 years, and my father alone at that point, he was working in Calcutta, and he decided to go to Dhaka, which was East Pakistan back then,
Right.
and because he got a good economic opportunity. And he lived there for many years alone until this 1965 tension between India and Pakistan was as such that the borders were supposed to be completely shut. At that point he got nervous and he sent some of his friends and asked them to bring the family to Dhaka. So that's when I moved. I was 8 years old, and I was in the third grade, elementary school, and I only knew Hindi and I don't know a few words of English maybe, and so that was a part of the problem when we landed at Dhaka, and we had to go to the school, and we knew Hindi, but I didn't know Urdu.
Right.
So I had to struggle and learn the new language. And Urdu, as well as also in Bangladesh, they have one subject that you have to take a Bengali as one subject.
Right.
So I learned a little bit of Bengali, but I polished my Urdu over the years, and I think it's good. I enjoyed learning another language, another, everything, another culture. It's the same culture, but it varies a little bit.
Right.
It varies a little bit from place to place, I think.
Right.
So I was I stayed there, and very happy, and the trouble started after that in 1969
Right.
in Bangladesh, when there was a revolution effort and all that, and finally the Bengali people, they succeeded
Right.
and getting their free country, and I'm very happy for them. I think they deserved it. Although, as you know, in the politics, we were on the wrong side of the politics at that time, because the people who came from India, they happened to support Pakistan at that time.
Is that right?
Rather than they supported the Pakistan and not the Bangladesh. I wish they would have supported Bangladesh, so they would have lived very independently and freely and peacefully. And because of that, millions of people have to move out and leave the country, either go back to India or go back to Pakistan, or many of them, they came to Europe or America actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a crazy thing, but I totally support their independence, because I believe they were not treated. The Bengalis were not treated fairly by Pakistanis. That I can say. Yeah.
Interesting. And then you moved back to Pakistan.
And then through India we came to India in Calcutta, because we have some relatives there, and we couldn't adjust, and then we went to Nepal, and my dad used to work for the federal government in East Pakistan, so I think the Pakistani embassy, they arranged our travel from Nepal, from Kathmandu to Karachi, and that happened in January 10th, 1974. So we landed at Karachi.
Okay.
And I stayed there for 3 years, did my intermediate, and got admission into an engineering college in one of the best universities in Karachi. Engineering college I started, but I also happened to get a scholarship. It's RCD. There was a cooperation between Pakistan and Turkey and Iran at that time. There was a pact, and they used to take the top students from these countries and give them a very handsome amount of a scholarship. So I was one of those lucky fellow. I got it, and I went to the universities used to be called Danishgah Pahlavi, which is called Shiraz University right now.
Okay.
Beautiful city. I lived there for 3 years until Mr. Khomeini came in, and there was a revolution. Then they shut down that university.
Oh, shut down.
Yeah, shut down the university
Wow.
temporarily
Wow.
because they wanted to change the curriculum and all that. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to stay there for another year to finish my college. So I went back to Karachi and finished my degree, engineering degree from Karachi there. And after that, I took a job with a construction company called MLC, McDonald and Company. And I did a people's thermal power project for them as one of the many engineers because our entry-level engineers work there and work on many projects. And then I realized that many of our friends, they all came to America. And then finally we decided that maybe it's time for me to also try to come to America, not so much for the immigration, but for the education at that point. So I applied for the City College and I was accepted, and I came in 1984, August 19, 1984. And that was great. I came to City College. Just like anyone else, I took a odd job just to support myself. I work in a newsstand and other paper. I used to make the Sunday newspaper on the weekends and make some money and all that. Insert the different sections of the paper. It hurt my back eventually, but it was good money. Because if you work in this store, you get only $4 an hour those days. And this was a good deal because I used to complete in 4 hours, and the owner used to give me $60. So I said, this is $15 an hour, not bad, not bad. So I did that. So I did my master's. I finished my master's. I got a 4.0 GPA, very good. And I got a scholarship from Columbia for my PhD. And then I started my PhD, and they gave me a full scholarship. Although my dad has retired back home, and so there was a pressure on me to start the work and get some income.
Okay.
Plus, I was in a student visa,
Right.
so I had to get my green card.
Right.
So finally, I found a sponsor, a great man, Kurti Gandhi. He has his own company, and so I worked with him, and he's the one who sponsored me. He did my green card, and I worked with him for about 5 years, and I learned everything that I know, at least on the engineering side. So I think it was a great experience. And after I got my license, before I got license, I moved to the New York City Department of Transportation, and I worked there. And then I realized that I can't work for the government. I don't have that, what it takes to work for the government. You have to be a little patient, I think.
A lot of
And a lot of patience. As you said, you're right. I couldn't say that because all my clients are government now. So I say I can't say much about that. But they're great people. I mean, listen, they work hard for the money they get paid. They get only 50% of the money that you can get outside. But they do get a great retirement plan or pension, so it's worth it. And many of them are our friends now. Over the years, we became friends. But I left city and started my own company, engineering company, which is called HAKS, HANKS. At that point, I had one of my friends. Actually, he's from Bangladesh, Kamal Shahid. That's how you see the name of the company, HAKS together. It's an abbreviation of my name and his name. So we started. He used to work at New Jersey Transit. I used to work at New York City DOT, and we got together and went to the same lawyer actually, who had done my green card and his green card. Same lawyer, and he did all the paperwork for HAKS engineering and So it's, you never know. This is the country that you come in, and you went to a lawyer to fix your green card, and the same lawyer you go to and start a business. But I think it turned out to be very lucky, I think, and a good endeavor, I think a good opportunity for both of us, both me and my partner.
You know, it's very interesting and inspiring story. I'm telling you, the way I see it, you are a go-getter from the beginning.
I don't know, is the go-getter word I learned
I mean,
here in America,
no, I mean,
but I know I have I was hungry. Let's put it this way,
yeah,
Raj.
exactly.
I was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
hungry
right,
because we come from a humble background.
right.
We never lived in a house more than, let's say, 3 bedroom all our life. You see, and although we had 10 people in our family.
Wow. Okay.
So all these things are very important. When you
Right.
come here and you get an opportunity, especially to do our business, establish your own business and move. And another thing I don't know if I should talk about is that we don't, thank God, in America you don't have to give $1 to any government official to get a business.
Right.
Things are really, really very straightforward.
Yeah.
Right? So 99.9% of the government people are very, very honest and good people. I respect them, I salute them. And that's why that made me successful. Because you can do a good project and get the next project.
If you do a good job,
Yeah.
then you keep getting.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
bottom line is you have to do what you say,
Exactly.
and it has to be done right way.
Exactly. I mean, just I gave you an example earlier. My construction company did 2 projects right here in 110. So we did the Huntington project, as a contractor, which was a very tough job. And many people told me, Husam, forget it. You will not be able to finish. We finished the project. Not only finished the project, we took another project in 110 in Melville, and that project also has been completed. And you can see the quality is great, one of the best quality. Client is happy, I'm happy, and God bless. I think I'm very happy to have that opportunity.
Well, that's what it takes really. When you do a job and then it's successful, you feel great.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
Money is one thing, but then
Right.
the completing the job successfully is really important. It's a value.
Yes, it's a big value, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be there
Right.
for hopefully for at least next 100 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So not my children and my grandchildren will be able to see and that grandpa did this project.
Right.
It's a great feeling, but plus also you are contributing to the community. You are making their life easier.
Yep.
You can shorten the travel distance by having a better quality of the roads. And so I think it's a matter of the quality of life, really.
Makes a big difference. I agree with you. I mean, so let's talk about your journey from 1991, which probably 2 people. You said 2 partners.
2 partners.
And now
Yeah.
you're 600 people. I mean, that's an amazing growth. In 15 years about. And congratulations, to you. I mean, it's really your dedication and I mean part of your hunger.
Yes, I think you're right. I want to correct you on that. 15 though, it's 24 years now. It's 24 years now. We'll be
24,
celebrating,
I
and
mean-
the way I know because we have a big plan to celebrate our 25th anniversary
Right,
next
right,
year.
Right.
So it's
I
a 24.
missed-
Yeah.
I
So
missed.
it's a 24 years.
Right,
I think yes, I consider myself very lucky. We started with the 2 partners, and in 5 years' time, we had grown to about 100 people. And we had 2 offices, one in New Jersey and one in New York. So me being a New Yorker, because I live in Queens all my life,
Okay.
and my famous joke is that I landed at JFK and I never left Queens. I still live 10 minutes away from JFK.
Oh,
So the point I was making that we had 2 offices at that point.
right.
We had 70 people in New York, which I was handling, and we had 35 people in New Jersey, which my partner Kamal Shahid was handling, because he was a New Jersey resident.
Right.
So perfect. And we got more projects than we needed. And however, there was a cash flow crunch, situation that we had to borrow money from our families and friends. At one point, I personally borrowed about $500,000 from my friends and families just to pay the bills. Because as you know, when you collect the money from the government, it takes a little time.
Yes.
Plus, also, if you're not the main prime, a contractor or consultant, you don't necessarily get the money soon.
Right.
So all this added to some stress. And my partner, God bless him, is a great guy, still a good friend. He came up with an idea that he wanted to separate the 2 operations, New Jersey and New York.
Okay.
And so we came to a conclusion that he wanted to buy me out in New Jersey, and he suggested that I should buy him out in New York.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
Okay.
So we followed the recommendation of our attorney and accountant, but a very friendly way. we separated, and he has his own company now called KS Engineers, and nice fellow. We still do business together. But from that 70 people in New York in 1997, I believe, 96, 97, I ran the entire thing, the whole thing, and I'm still the 100% owner of the HAKS, engineering construction, and we have over 650 people, and growing, and growing every year, and it's a very sustainable growth. It's designed for like minimum 10% growth. We are not crazy anymore, but we do want to take pride in doing the right project, a quality project for our client, but at the same time make sure that we train and we groom and support our people so they can grow with our projects. So some of our project managers who work on $5 million project, now they're working on a $500 million project. Because we are in charge of those big projects, and so I'm very happy for me and my family, but also I'm very happy for my people who work with me. They are part of the extended family, and they have an opportunity to work on remarkable projects, big projects, like Gowanus Expressway, like Gilboa Dam, all these large projects that we did.
So it's a good philosophy to have an employee as an extended family, because we have the same philosophy here in our company. And you help them all the way, right? Yeah. So let's talk about like when you started this in 1991, right? What was your first project and how did you get it?
The first project, very first project was a very small one.
Let's say today you started the company, right?
Right,
with
right,
your
right.
attorneys filled out the paper and everything, and
Right,
then you
right,
went home or went to the
whatever. Right. Yes, the first way, honestly, just to support my family, when we started the company, we didn't quit our job. We still had to keep a job to pay our bills.
Okay.
So what happened? So I took a job left the government. I took a job as a resident engineer.
Okay.
And so it pays my bill.
Okay.
But now I have more flexibility. I'm in charge of the project. I have more time. So we used to get together. Me and Kamal used to get together at least once or twice a week.
Okay.
We'll work on the proposals. We will develop the resumes, all that. And the very first project that you mentioned that we got, it was through a contractor that he's no longer in business. His name is Seti Giuliani. Okay, Seti Giuliano, actually, I'm sorry. Seti Giuliano, Construction Corporation.
Okay.
And I take it back. I apologize. I made a mistake here, all right? Yeah, I'm mixing up things because it's a long time.
Right.
The first job we took it, or maybe it was for him, but I think we worked for the contractor to do a boring inspection. So all I needed is a full-time inspector to be there when they are taking the soil samples, and the project was near Manhattan Beach. So it's a construction contract on Manhattan Beach for the New York City DOT, and contractor needed some professional engineering company to have an engineer at site to witness that the soil samples and everything are correct samples, and the project is done correctly. And at that time, the company was being run from my home, from my house. Yeah, I'm living in Queens. At that point, I used to live in Richmond Hill.
Right.
And so this gentleman started coming in, started working from my home, and so it was, it was tough.
So you hired this gentleman?
The gentleman, yeah, the gentleman that we hired, his name is Jayesh Patel.
Oh.
And I'm very proud that he's still with our company.
Oh, he's still there?
He's still in our company.
24 years, 25 years.
20, yeah. He's still with our company, and so we're very proud. And now he's the manager of surveying in our company.
Okay. So you hired him. You got a subcontracting job.
Yes.
As a subcontractor.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
In another project.
Yes. Subconsultant. Yeah. Same thing.
Right. Yeah. That was your first project. And since you didn't need to do a full-time job, you just hired this person.
Yeah. Because I was obviously at that point I was a resident engineer. I was making much more money.
Right.
And if there was enough money, I would have gone to do the job myself.
Right.
But there was a rate established for the person, so we needed to hire a person who will fit in that range. So that was my very, very first project. But my biggest break, the one what we consider is that first project,
Right.
is that there were several bridge projects coming out of the New York City DOT.
Okay.
Right? For this is a project where you design and you also inspect the construction.
Right.
So it was a combined design and construction inspection of about 20 bridges and about 9 culverts.
Wow.
Yes, and it was called 1993 A, B, C, D, E. So 5 construction contracts, and I believe it was 2 consultant contracts to design and manage those projects.
Okay.
And so I met with this gentleman, Manny Elkin, and he had his company, Manuel Elkin, engineering. And God bless his soul, he's no longer with us. But he was kind enough to give us majority of the design work.
Okay.
So we needed to establish our office in Manhattan, and so instead of getting a construction inspection, we focused, me and Kamal, that we need to get a design work. So this way we can hire designers, and then we can have a real office in Manhattan,
Okay.
and start the process. And that's what we did. When we were selected for that project, we immediately looked for the office. We found a location, 47 Ann Street, close to Fulton area, and we rented 1 floor when we started the design. By the time we finished all the design, we got so many other projects, we rented another floor in the building.
How long
And
the project was?
That project was a 2 year project.
2 year.
That was a 2 year project, but there's a lot of work, design work. And then we design the projects, but also you provide some support during construction. So if there is a question by the contractor, and they may have a question on the design, our engineers will go. And that time, I was the project manager myself.
Okay.
So between me and my partner, we split the projects in half. So he was in charge of few projects, I was in charge of few projects. So that project that we really got involved ourselves, managing
So
the
that
design.
You left the job.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That time
Yeah,
you left
that
the
time we
job.
already left job was
So
yeah,
100%
100%.
business.
Yes, both of us,
Both of you.
because there was enough project by then
Okay.
that we could draw some money to pay our bills.
Got it.
So we did that.
Okay, great. And then that point on, you just kept on growing.
Yes,
Basically.
yes. Thank God. I mean, after that, there was another project that I remember that really put us on the map, was a construction management contract or a staffing contract for the New York State Office of General Services.
Oh, OGS. Okay.
OGS, yes,
Right,
state
right.
OGS.
Okay.
And they had an RFP on the street, that to provide about 30 to 40 people at any given time at different locations throughout the state at their facilities. So
Okay.
they were in charge of several correctional facilities,
Right.
psychiatric centers. They were building all that,
Okay.
and they were looking for construction people, construction inspector people.
Right.
And since construction is my background,
Right.
my partner at that time, his background was more design. So I decided to submit a proposal for that project. And yes, my partner thought I was crazy, because how can we be able to provide 30 to 40 people?
Right.
But I'm the risk taker guy. That's me. That's what I do. And we submitted a proposal, and thank God, cost was a factor in selection. We lowered put a lower overhead, because at that time our overhead was very low.
Right.
And we succeeded, and we got the project.
Right.
And not only that, we were able to provide those people and provide a great service, we were given the next contract.
Oh.
So I think that project really put us on the map as a prime consultant.
As a prime
consultant.
Okay. And it was for OGS.
OGS, state
OGS
OGS.
was the main contracting.
Main client, yes.
Right, main client.
Main client, and we dealt with them directly.
You dealt with them directly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
In Albany.
So that was like 30 to 40 people.
30, actually, at the peak time, believe it or not, I think in a couple of years, in the peak time, we had about 55 people
Of 50 people.
on that contract at different locations, several locations.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Mm. So we're very proud, and we got lucky too. Listen, when you have the courage, you'll be surprised when your mind and your heart is in the right place. Things will happen because this project or this contract was given to Jacobs in the past.
Okay.
So when Jacobs lost this project to us, basically all those people
They came to you.
didn't have a job,
That's right.
and so they were very happy to come to us.
Yeah,
And it's easy for us to trust them because they were trusted by OGS.
Yep, and plus they know the work.
They know the work, exactly.
Yeah.
They know the work, they know the locations, all that. They had an ongoing relationship with the client and a manager. So I think things really worked out better than we imagined.
That is so lucky.
Yes, yeah.
I'm saying, because I think the only portion you have to work is the money part.
Yeah. The cash flow, as I discussed, cash flow always
Not
an
only cash
issue.
flow, but how much money they are getting, how much money you are billing.
Yeah. Well, that's something that, no, you're right. Yeah,
That's the
there's
only
a,
thing what
yes.
has to be worked out really.
Yes.
right?
But it's very simple. In consulting
yeah.
engineering, it's very simple.
Yeah.
What you do is we bill actual rate,
Right.
and then we put our actual overhead,
Okay.
and then we put about 8 to 10% profit.
So that's like
That's the market. It's
standard.
almost a standard.
Standard, right?
Unless you have very high profile client or a project, you may be entitled to a higher maybe 15% profit. But the government client very rarely gives you more than 10%.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Most of them, they give you between 8 to 10% of your profit.
Oh,
And that is also subject to audit.
subject to audit. Okay.
So they audit everything. So they may disallow a lot of expenses that you may have incurred.
Uh-huh.
So really your profit comes down to 5%,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately.
Oh, okay. But GNA also, like they audit GNA basically, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They have their own rules,
Right.
accounting rules, FAR.
Yeah.
FAR they follow and they do, and so it's fine. It's an open book, as I said earlier.
Right.
There's no hanky panky. It's very simple. All the books are open,
Right.
open to our people, open to our client,
Right.
definitely open for the auditors,
Right.
because we don't. There's no difference between what we are paying and what we are showing. Is the same number. So there's nothing to worry about.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. Like you said that you got from OGS, which is a real break, that puts you on the map. The important part was the proposal, and the important part was the cost.
Yes,
and
yes,
that's how you won that project from the incumbent,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then once you won the project, it was so easy for you because most of the people were already there. So the critical part is really like so you wrote proposal yourself, or you had somebody else help you writing the proposal?
No, we wrote. Actually, what happened? I was in charge all along.
Okay.
And many years I've been in charge of the BD effort and the proposal.
Right.
Proposal was very dear to my heart,
Okay.
because I feel that you need to tell the client
Yes.
how you're gonna manage the job,
Right.
who will be on your team,
Right.
and why do you think the client should select you.
Right.
This is not something that you just attach your resume and submit some because we are a new company.
Right.
We don't have 100 years of experience, so we can say, oh, I did this, I did that. So I think there has to be something convincing
Right.
for us to present to the client that this is a new firm. Why should I trust them? Why should I, with all this big assignment? So I think we did most of the thing and we put it together under my supervision, especially for the mostly construction projects. I looked at some design, but most of the design work was being supervised by my partner at that time. And I enjoy construction, and I enjoy construction management. So that was my strength. And so yes, I think the proposal helped. But as you mentioned, as you heard, the price was a factor in the selection as well, and that helped me. But now that we have grown to 650 people,
Right.
now it may hurt me, because there's another new guy whose overhead is lower, and he will do
overhead
the
is
same
lower,
thing.
right.
But God bless him. Everybody needs an opportunity. So
But you are in a different category now. See?
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
we are.
right.
We are. Our overhead is obviously much higher.
No, but still you are in a bucket of, let's say, $500 million project or $1 billion project, something. Whereas somebody who comes new, they may be 15 million or $10 million project.
Right. No, but we are not a billion. We don't do $1 billion project as a prime. The largest project we got involved is a $500 million project, and that was for New York City DEP.
Wow.
That's the Gilboa Dam. to major reconstruction and rehab, and it's some tunnel work associated with that, with the Gilboa Dam. We are very proud of that. We have a joint venture, actually, matter of fact, 3 companies, but we are the lead joint venture, a managing partner.
Okay, okay.
So we have all the top managers are from us. We are very happy, top quality, top evaluation. That makes me proud, I think, very, very proud, I think.
So that comes to a point that, you got, obviously you only have 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And you have to have good people working for you.
Right.
Right? So how do you get these good people, and how do you translate your philosophy into them?
Well, I think initially I tried to hire the people that I knew,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because at least you get the trust and the loyalty,
Right.
right?
Okay.
But as we grow, we are running out of friends and families.
Right.
So what you do is you go and identify the best people in the market.
Okay.
And my advice to all my people, as well as to other business people and their managers, to hire the best. Don't compromise on the number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Find, identify the top 5 people, anyone that you want to hire
Right.
for any position.
Okay.
Identify the 5 top people in your city. Hire one of them.
Okay.
Of course, you're going to start from number 1.
Right. Right. Right.
And I think many of that's where the conflict is. Your financial guy, and may say that, oh, listen, this if you hire him, we are not going to make any money.
Right.
But I tell you, our experience is that if you hire the best person, eventually you're going to make much more money. You
It's
may
an investment.
It's a big investment, definitely an investment, because then your culture changes, and then you tell the world, this is what we believe in. We believe in top quality. We believe in keeping the commitment. We believe in finishing the project on a schedule. We believe in working with the community. Very important. We are not going to go just and demolish everything as, oh, this is a government project, get out. You can't do that.
Right. Yeah. You take it personally.
Yeah. So you have to really manage every part of the project and make sure that not only we look good, the client look good, and the most important, the customer, which is you and me and the citizens,
Right.
they are taken care of. So if there is a business entity there, make sure there is an access to that business while we are working on the project. All right. So I think we have to work with this, entire community. There's a school, there's a fireplace, and fire station,
Right.
all that. We have to work with it. There's a hospital, So I think we are part of the community, and being a part of the community, we have a responsibility to do the project in such a way that would minimize the impact
Right.
and the suffering
Right. Right.
on the community. That's the goal, I think.
Tell me something now that, when you mentioned that you hire people who you know, and obviously you ran out, then you pick top 5, whatever, the strategy.
Right.
Right? Is there any instance or incidences where you hired somebody and you felt that, okay, you made a mistake?
Of course it happens. It's life. They say, of course. But that's how you learn.
That's how you learn.
That's
Okay.
how you learn. So yes, we may have lost some money, but on the other hand, we learn. And Raj, I will correct you. It happens more often
Right.
when you hire a person that you only know superficially.
Right.
Because when you meet with a person in some event or what, so you don't know their working habits.
Right.
You don't know their integrity level.
Right. Right. Yes.
You don't know their production level.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you may not even know your the energy level.
Yeah.
And the most important in our business and engineering side,
Right.
how likable the person is. Because as a consultant, when you are selected, it's all about the perception of the company and the perception of the team.
Right.
But whose perception? client's perspective.
Customer facing.
The client, in this case, the government, because most of our projects are the government.
Right.
So if there is a leader who is very much liked by the government people,
Right.
because he does a great job, he or she
Right.
does a great job, takes care of the community,
Right.
works with the government people hand in hand, there's no friction,
Right.
that's the best person. Watches the budget, not lose money for the company,
Right.
that's the best person.
Right.
So it's very difficult sometimes to get all these qualities in one person,
Right.
who is very
Right.
likable by the client, but then also more important, has to be likable by his people too,
Absolutely.
because you have to work with your team.
Right. Yep. That's how you deliver.
So you have to know how to work with your team,
Right.
and you take care of them, because if you are not supported by your team,
Right.
sooner or later we all gonna fail.
Exactly. Yep. Very good. I'm going to, kind of make one word and you have to expand it.
Oh my God. Okay, I've never done that. I've
Yeah.
seen that, but I've never done that. Go
The
ahead.
best you can do, because I think you're really providing a real advice. In my mind,
I hope so.
you are giving a real advice. Really, it's not like I feel good about it. You know
Thank
why?
you.
Because this
Thank
is
you.
reality. What you are saying is reality. There is a difference between reality and a book knowledge.
Right.
Okay, so what you are stating now is reality. Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I'm telling you what I went through.
Exactly. So that is very.
And I'm not leaving
important.
anything behind. I'm putting everything on the table.
That's very important, and I thank you very much for
Oh,
that.
you're welcome.
Okay.
Welcome, Raj.
So let's talk about leadership. I'm going to give you one word: leadership. Your style. Whatever you can.
Yeah, my style is get to the point, have a strategy,
Right.
get it done in the most efficient manner, and as soon as possible.
Okay.
So these are the things that I focus. To me, I think timing is very important.
Okay.
So yes, leadership is very important, but also resolving the issue in the minimum possible time is also a very important factor for me.
Okay.
So sometimes I succeed, sometimes I may not able to resolve the issue within the given time or my own established time.
Right.
But definitely, if I'm dedicated and I'm focused, I'm a laser focused.
Right. Okay.
When I do things, I'm laser focused,
Okay.
and I expect my team to be laser focused too. So anything we do in my diary, always we have a deadline for everything. There's no discussion without a deadline.
Okay.
Let's put it this way.
So, yeah. Okay. And deadline is decided by people or you?
No, it's the team.
Or team?
It's the team.
Okay, team.
But obviously, I will make the deadline a little challenging,
Okay.
because that's where the fun begins.
Right. Yeah.
If something can be done in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
there's no reason why the deadline should be 2 months after.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
So if the job can be done in 2 weeks, for emergency or unforeseen conditions and all that, maybe you can add 2 more days.
Right.
So 2 weeks is 10 days, add another 2, 12 days. All right? Worst case scenario, 15 days.
Right. But not more.
That's where the negotiation ends.
Right.
That's how it should be done. And especially now I'm learning that in a construction site is very, very important.
Okay.
Because in a construction site, you take another day. Another day means another $100,000 as expense.
Wow. Okay.
All right?
Right.
Because that's how much money we
Right.
spend on the material, on the labor,
Right.
on the equipment
Right.
every day
Right.
at each site.
Wow.
So you can understand the significance of resolving the issue sooner than later.
So your management style is what? Like, is it like a micromanager, or you are like a dedicated? You have many projects going on,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So every project will have a project manager,
Yes.
and you are kind of going through project to project.
The way it works actually,
Yeah.
the projects are handled by the project manager.
Okay.
Project managers report to vice president.
Okay.
So they are and then after the vice president we have a discipline manager or we have area manager.
Okay.
So any project is observed or managed by 2 top people. One is the area manager and one is the discipline manager.
Okay.
All right. So if there is a bridge construction project in Connecticut, so we will have a area manager from Connecticut
Okay.
involved in that project. At the same time, we will have a bridge construction guy head in the company involved, who most of our leadership is in New York. So he or she will be involved in that project as well.
Okay.
So we hold those two leaders responsible at the top of the ladder for every project success and all that. And between me and my president, which is Mike Sharma, and we visit the projects, we look at the projects, and by looking sometimes and look at the records once in a while, they'll give us an idea how the project is going.
Okay, so because you have got experience. and
Yeah,
you
we got some experience.
You know exactly how it should be.
Right, but we are not. We definitely, I'm totally hands off. I'm not involved. Only time I get involved, God forbid, if there is an issue, or something happened, and the damage control has to be done, then definitely it's me.
Okay, got it.
I jump in.
Then you jump.
Then I don't go through all the different ranks.
Right.
I jump in. I go to the project. The same day or the next day, and I will gather the information start gathering information from the bottom up. At the same time, I ask my president to gather the information from the top down. And then I gather the two information, and then we will be able to figure out who's telling the truth and what's going on in the project and what needs to be done.
Right.
So that's how I do it. But no, I don't micromanage. I guide people.
Okay.
Only it comes to the business development.
Right.
I'm still in charge of the business development in my company. So that area is very dear to my heart. And yes, I will have some suggestions for my team.
Okay.
So I don't wait for them to come and back and tell me. I'll give them my suggestion and idea. I share when they have an assignment or they are making deals with other companies. I will advise them. I will share all the information that I have with me about that project. Who is liked, who is not liked, who we had a great relationship with, who we didn't have a great relationship with. And so this, at least they have a guidance, at least they don't know which direction to go.
Right. It helps that basically.
Because if you have an agreement with a company
Right.
that's going to bring us down,
Right.
we may lose the project.
Exactly. Yep.
So there's so much work to be done prior to getting married. It's just like a marriage.
Right.
Like, when we get married, we have to have a good understanding. So if we are doing a joint venture agreement or even a prime sub agreement with another company, you better know the other company,
Right.
their culture, their practices,
Very.
their financial,
Yep.
and you should be able to trust that your partner.
Right.
If the other partner is not trustworthy, I would rather
Walk away.
lose that
Yeah,
project.
walk away.
I would rather lose that project.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a more important thing actually. Trust is the key.
The trust is the key.
Yeah. Otherwise, later on you get hurt. Both
Exactly.
Of the party.
Yes.
It hurts. Right. Agree. Growth strategy. Now, let me begin with, you started from New York. Now you are in approximately 8-9 states.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And now you're moving forward into a different states next year. That's your growth strategies. Tell us the idea behind growing, where and why.
It is rather challenging, to decide where to go and where not to go and why. Initially, it was very, when we started in New York, New Jersey was easy because my partner was in New Jersey. Right. Then after that, we found some opportunity in Connecticut.
Okay.
And since we are a smaller firm, at that point we were a minority and disadvantaged. So you can work with other large firms because large firms are always looking for smaller firms.
Right.
So it was easier for me to go to any area and be part of the larger teams because you have that, advantage,
Right.
so to speak, minority or women business and all that. We don't have that for the most part at this point.
Now
Now we don't have that part. So we try differently.
Okay.
Now, obviously, in the past, as we said, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, the tri-state It's within reach. We can travel the same day. You can go back, look at the projects and all that. After that, I think we analyze the market.
Okay.
If we have to go to the new area, we analyze the demand and supply of the people, of the firm, and more important, we want to see how much is the state budget.
Okay, so
For that,
budget you look at.
the budget is very important. So capital budget, how much money the state has for infrastructure,
Right.
for energy, or for the rail projects, right? Aviation project, all that. We look at that,
Okay.
and then we see what is our strength,
Right.
and we try to match with that. As the company now, also we have entered into the water and wastewater market now. So we started looking at that, that another criteria. So when we had to open an office in DC, we realized that DC Water has a rather large a program for water and wastewater. So we decided to open an office there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we couldn't be in exactly in DC, but we are very close. We are in Fairfax, Virginia, an
Right.
office there.
Tri-City.
Yeah, exactly. And then we opened another office in Baltimore,
Oh, okay.
and we opened an office in Miami about 2 years ago, and this year we opened an office in Houston, and we have a plan to open an office in California, actually Los Angeles next year,
Okay.
which is again is a long reach,
Right.
but we feel there's a big budget, lot of projects, and they're working on few projects that are very, very similar to projects that we have worked.
Already worked on. Right. Yeah.
So actually we were contacted
Right.
by the city of
Okay.
Los Angeles,
Right.
for a rebuilding of an asphalt plant, for example, because we were in charge of we were the CM build.
Right.
We were the managing the construction and supervision and the design, everything, for a plant in Brooklyn. And we did this for Department of Design and Construction.
Right.
And City of Los Angeles wanted to follow the same model
Okay.
over there. So this kind of opportunity, when somebody brings it to us, we get excited and we said, oh yeah, sure. So those are the leading factor, how we decide where to go and when to go and all that.
So now tell me one thing, like there are two ways to start. One way is to get the project first and then start an office. Another way is to start the office and then get the project.
Well, starting the office is not so important.
It's not important.
Starting the
Yeah, you are
company
right.
is important.
Right.
You must register the company,
Okay.
and you can register the company at your home.
Right.
There's nothing wrong about it.
Right. Right.
People, you have to be honest with the people.
Right.
Let them know I just started. I can't afford an office on Madison Avenue.
Right.
So what you do is you start from your basement. You start from your attic, whatever.
Right.
And register the company, and you dedicate your time to pursue the projects, to build your relationship with the people. Very important. Another very important thing that we haven't discussed in this interview, to get a project or be successful, is very important to build solid relationship,
Yep.
not only with your clients but also with your competition.
Yep. Also with the competition.
All very necessary. At this point, I feel that even more important to build with the competition.
Is that right?
Because you are not going to do one project alone. You will be always joining hands together. Everyone has a limited, so maybe you are strong in bridges.
Right.
The other company is strong in rail.
Right.
The third company is stronger in aviation.
Right.
So depending upon the nature of the project, we all have to join hands
Right.
and bring our best talent together to make that larger project more successful. And that's how you move up.
Okay. Got it.
And then you realize as you move up and your quality improves and you do a larger project, the competition becomes, I like to believe, it's friendlier as long as you develop that interest
Right.
and have a relationship both ways.
Right.
That you help me on this project, you take me on this project, I will take you on the other next project. If you keep that relationship going, I think you can grow your company quite a bit.
And plus, at the high level, there are very few competition anyway.
Yes.
So everybody knows everybody.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then, it's kind of matter of, okay, well, if you do it, you're going to do right.
Right.
That kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Now, all larger companies, like now the largest engineering company here is AECOM, more than 100,000 employees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they have the resources and all that. So you cannot work in the city
Right.
without having a relationship with the AECOM, for example.
Right.
I mean, you can, but then you'll be limited.
Right, exactly.
Then another large company now, WSP and PB, they join hands together. Large company. Jacobs, large company.
Right.
These are all large companies.
Right.
So we work with them,
Mhm.
but we do not necessarily depend on them.
Right.
We have our own projects that we identify, we can do it on our own. But for $1 billion, as you mentioned earlier, for $1 billion plus project, we don't have that kind of resources to do those projects by ourselves.
Right.
So we join hands together on those larger projects.
Right. So team up.
Team up, yeah, team up.
Yeah. So now, one thing, I'm always like kind of curious that because there is a limited number of companies who do larger projects
Yes.
in areas, certain areas rather, or nationwide rather.
Sure.
Before, when the bid opens up for a, let's say, for example, Tappan Zee Bridge, right? Bid opens up. The only player for that kind of project is maybe you can count,
Yeah, 5 maybe.
maybe five.
5, yeah.
And out of five, people already have an idea who's going to win this project. Is that true or not true?
I don't think we have, again, there are two sides of this, our discussion. You're not talking about, in your example, you're not talking about engineering. You're talking about mostly about construction, but it happens to be a design build project.
Right.
Yes, so yes, the engineers are involved, but engineers are working for the contractor.
Right.
So the way it worked on Tappan Zee, for example, all the large corporations, all the large contractors,
Right.
they join hands together,
Okay.
okay? And they collectively,
Right.
because the estimate on that project, I like to believe, was $4 billion plus.
Something like
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
So they join hands together to alleviate some of the pressure on the bonding,
Right.
because this way one company doesn't have to provide a $4 billion bonding.
Right.
So that's number one. So they can share the wealth,
Right.
and they have, again, same thing. Some companies have more experience on the waterfront structure, because as you know, Tappan Zee is over the river. So Hudson River. So now you have to, so you have to have all the talent. All right. So all these companies that you're going to need, you bring them together. So they were like, I don't remember exact number. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. But I think there were 5 teams building. And HAKS, we were in one of the teams.
Oh, okay.
All right, at that time, in the initial. And this is a perfect example to show that when you are a smaller company compared to this $1 billion company, you may not fit. You don't know, you have no control over the destination, what happens. Because I like to believe that only 3 firms at the end submitted.
Oh, okay.
So the team that we were in,
Right.
at the very final moment, they decided not to submit.
Oh, okay.
So
you're
so
automatically out?
yes, I'm automatically out.
Wow.
So I think that was a lesson for us, not to depend on one team. But what happens when you are looking for a larger portion,
Right.
you have to be almost exclusive.
Right.
But it works for the large company. It doesn't work for the smaller or medium-sized company.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, you are right. All the large companies, they are the only ones who can have that kind of bonding and participate. My hope and dream was that people like me, who were a minority firm or a smaller firm,
Right.
and they have grown to a larger firm.
Right.
One of our dream is to join hands together with other largest minority and women business and do a really big project together
Actually,
as a prime.
yeah, it can be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I gave you some example, that we are right now we are joint venture with 2 other firms, and we are the managing partner. So it's a $500 million project. We are managing it.
Right.
But then another project that I like to bring all MB, WBEs and all that. And
Right.
if we can manage this project,
Yeah.
with the non-minority firms,
Right.
we can also manage the projects, I think, with all M and WBs and do a larger project. And I think that will be more than a profit, that will be a success, an achievement. I think is a milestone that has not been done.
No, I think you are right. I think you are right. You know what? Because see, the key is if you, like I've seen that happening, in the past, right? Federal projects rather,
Sure, yes.
that there are, like consortium. They build a consortium where one is managing, everybody else goes under that, and they bid for the large project, and they have been successful.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing is key is really like managing everybody. That's the key.
You gotta have a super manager.
Yeah, exactly.
I call them a super manager.
Yeah,
You gotta
right.
have a
Yeah,
super
that's
manager
very important.
for super important projects.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I think that's a good idea, though.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's easier done, I think, on a consulting side.
Right.
It's easier. On a construction side, it's much harder.
Okay.
Because again, you gotta have that deep pockets. I'm not aware of many MWBs, many minority and women business who have a bonding of $100 million plus or something that we can join hands together and do a $1 billion project. Not to my knowledge. Maybe there are,
Right.
but I think that needs to be explored further.
Okay. The next is social responsibility, and you already mentioned that it's very important for you to be, or whatever your business is, that to be socially responsible in terms of community, in terms of all the things around your projects rather.
Right,
But
right.
let's say outside of that, like
Right.
giving back
Right,
to the
right,
community,
right.
giving back to people. So
Well, I'll start with the project, as you said, that we did a project on Bell Parkway,
Right.
over Ocean Parkway.
right, yeah.
This was a New York City DOT project. We were the construction manager. We worked on that project, and we sponsored the cleaning of the a mile of a highway there on the Bell Parkway. We sponsored the cleaning through the DOT. And so you will see our sign there when you drive on a Bell Parkway. You will see a sign of HAKS. So I think basically we did that project 15 years ago, but we still are happy to be responsible for cleaning that mile or two of the highway
Right.
at our expense
Wow. Okay.
for the rest of our life.
Oh,
And that kind of commitment we made on a company level.
Right.
On a personal level, I would say that I personally I support the library in Jamaica, and you may have seen that we give out. I'm also involved in one of the South Asian association.
Okay.
That we give a scholarship. We started in 2000,
Okay.
and we give a scholarship to at least 5 children
Okay.
who are studying engineering and architecture. It's a $5,000 each, so give about $25,000 plus
Okay.
every year.
Every
And this scholarship goes to not only a good student but also to a needy student. Means their family income has to be less than $90,000.
Okay.
So I'm very proud to be part of that. Also, that I lived in other countries in the world. So I'm involved. Me and my wife, we are both involved in a big charity in Bangladesh.
Okay.
And through OBAD, there is a non-profit organization. We have been doing that, but now lately, me and my wife established our own, foundation.
Okay.
It's called Ahmed Foundation. So we are planning. We are embarking on a big plan to move many of the people who live in a camp or a slum in Dhaka to move them to a low-income housing model.
Wow.
So we are studying. We are in a discussion with the local business people there
Okay.
and the government to see how that can be accommodated. So all these projects we are very, very happy. We have been supporting another South Asian association is called SACS that they provide help to the senior citizens
Right.
from South Asian community in reading, writing, social skills, medical help, immigration, all that. We do that.
Good.
But this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
I like to, I think me and my wife, we like to give back, and it's our responsibilities. I don't even call it a give back. I think it's our duty.
Yeah.
I consider it's our duty.
Right. Yeah. Help other people. That's the main thing, right?
We also have the company has a mentoring program.
Okay.
So what we do is, because we feel we are a very successful company now,
Right.
and we started a small company.
Okay.
So we kind of mentor about 12 to 20 firms every year at no cost,
All startups.
and all startups mostly.
Okay.
and we have 10 sessions
Okay.
throughout the year,
Okay.
and all the executive at different level in the company, including me.
Okay.
For example, I take the first session and the last session, and then my president and my BD person and my CFO, they all participate and cover all the possible angles
Wow.
of starting a business and retaining a good business practice. And I'm very proud that we are able to do that.
Very nice.
Mhm.
That's very good.
Thank you.
That's very good.
Thank you, Raj.
Yep, helping people and helping startups. I was going to ask you that, but you already answered.
Yeah, because many agencies, they are mentoring contractors, but I have not found any agency yet who are mentoring consultants
Right,
or
right.
construction managers
Right, right,
or,
right.
or architects. So that's what we do.
Well, I think, I mean, I must say that, you provided wealth of information today.
Oh, thank you.
You know, and,
Thank
and you whatever you said is from heart and or your real experience, and that I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
You know.
You're welcome, Raj.
Yeah. Is there any message that you want to give it to the viewers? The last message. I mean, we already talked about a lot,
Right,
but
right.
anything that you want to say now?
The message to me as an immigrant into this America, my message will be that yes, get the education and the skills that you need, that you have passion for, but more important, I encourage everyone, especially from our community,
Right.
right? And when I say our community, mean India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all that, yeah, continent, subcontinent.
Right.
I would like them to try to have their own business
Okay.
because it has a long-term benefits and it challenges you, and be persistent
Right.
and never give up. You will be successful.
Very right advice.
Thank
That's
you.
my mantra. Very right advice.
Thank you.
And I thank you very much for joining. I mean,
Thank
you
you
very much for
Raj.
coming. Really.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you for coming here today. If you have any questions, comments, you can email me at rajmitv@gmail.com. That's again rajmitv@gmail.com. You can watch our prior shows on YouTube at youtube.com/Infosys International. That's again youtube.com/Infosys International. Until next time, have a great week.